Hello, 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 and welcome to FPL Mate. We are back for another deadline stream today, this time for Gameweek 18. How is everyone doing today? Did everyone have a good Christmas? Hope you did. Mine was a bit chaotic. Maybe I'll tell you about it. But yeah, today it's Boxing Day. Football's back. FPL's back. I've made multiple transfers this week. Two of my new transfers in this game week are playing tonight. So I'm very excited about that. So it's going to be a big one for me. And yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty chilled out today, to be honest. Like, so nice to have done my transfers this week. I don't know about you guys, but like making your FPL moves nice and early and then just being able to just take your mind away from FPL for like a day and a half, maybe, before getting stuck back in. Has been really nice. I'm feeling pretty chilled. We've got the lights dimmed today. I'm wearing a hoodie rather than the usual football shirt. It's a chill time indeed. We've got a couple of hours till deadline as well, so I think we can just pretty much chill out, relax, and everything is awesome. We've got a little message from 452XI who says, "Merry Christmas, come on you Gunners." Hopefully it'll be a win this game week. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Arsenal playing tomorrow, of course. It's a shame Arsenal weren't playing on Sunday, actually, because Sunday is my birthday, and it would have been nice to have an Arsenal game on my birthday. Here for FPL with a super chat here, nice and early, who says, right here, happy holidays, mate. Hincapié to Tarkowski or Keane? I think if you can afford to go for Tarkowski, I probably would. Because even though we think Keane will probably play the next few games, Branthwaite is due back in training this week. And I think it will take a little while for Branthwaite to reintegrate back into the starting 11. So we're probably looking at mid-January, to be honest, a few more weeks before we do see Branthwaite back in. Which, to be fair, like Branthwaite as an FPL pick could genuinely be really interesting. We've not really got to experience Branthwaite since the DEFCONs have been introduced into the game. We know he's a good DEFCONer. We know he's a player who has some attacking threat as well, to be fair. So I think he could be interesting later. But for now, Keane, probably good for the next 4 game weeks, I would say. So if you're happy with the short term, and you're only looking for short term, then Keane does the job. But if you are looking to just maybe extend that Everton defensive coverage just a little bit further, and you can afford Tarkowski, then maybe so. The show team gang are here already. You guys are excited, clearly. Very excited indeed. So my team has not changed. I've actually put out 2 videos this week that have my final team in. But in case you still haven't seen it, here it is. So this is what my team is looking like going into Game Week 18. I think it is interesting. Let's just say that. So we've got Raya in goal, a defense of a potentially injured Richards. I am going to start him just to see whether or not he's going to be available or not. If Richards is unavailable, we'll be counting on our bench. And then we've got Collins, O'Reilly, and Virgil to complete the defense, which is a 4-man defense. We're on a 4-4-2. In the midfield, we've got Cunha, Foden, Saka, and Gordon, which I think looks pretty strong as a midfield quad. I mean, obviously, Gordon does have some minutes risk, but I think he's a really interesting shout here. And then up front, Ekatike, Erling Haaland captain, and we are going to be sticking with Haaland captain. I'm not really thinking about Ekatike, to be honest. And a bench of Dubravka, Anderson, Forrest Anderson, who's going to be the first cover for Richards should he be needed. Malik Chow and Chido Obi, who is not really going to do very much, but he's nice and cheap, 4.2 million. He does the job. He does the job. It will be fine. Lots of questions about Wilson in the chat. Would I play him? Would I start him? Yes, I would start him if I had him. The latest news on him is that he is just he's going to be he's still in pain basically following a knock that he picked up in the mid was it in the midweek? Was it last week? No, it was last weekend. It was Monday technically. I think that's why I'm getting confused. So yeah, Monday, and then Fulham play again tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So is he if he was in pain today, still in pain today, is he going to be ready for tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. Bit of a coin toss. but I guess we'll see. Eunice says, would you start Wilson and Richards? Well, I am starting Richards. I think Richards is very easy to start because with Richards, he's either going to be available or he's not going to be available. There's not going to be an in-between there, really. I mean, there's always a chance of an in-between, but in all likeliness, he either starts or he doesn't. So I think bench points, bench appearances, 1 pointers from Richards, I think is pretty unlikely, very unlikely. So I think it's pretty easy to start him against Spurs if, that is one of your better defenders for this game week. So therefore, I'm happy to start him. If not, we'll see what happens. Wilson, would I start him? Probably, yeah. Unless you do have someone really strong as a backup on your bench who, is debatably, almost as good as him, maybe. Then I would go ahead and play that player. But if you don't really have much on your bench, I would just start Wilson, hope for the best. As for Hincapié, he's a tricky one. But again, Hincapié is probably just a case of either he's available or he's not available, and there's probably not much in between there. If he has back issues and he can't start, he's probably not gonna be able to. Is it back or shoulder? Shoulder, I think. But if he has a shoulder issue, then he's not going to be able to play, and you'll get an auto sub. So in terms of starting players like Richards, Hincapié, and in most instances Wilson, I would still start these players and just hope for the best. The only real cases where I would take action on these guys is if you don't have any bench coverage. Like if you've got a Elliot Anderson 4-pointer waiting on your bench, I mean, that's not really too bad. Like you take that, like it's not the end of the world. So that's going to be fine to come on as a sub. Thoughts on replacing Hincapié? I mean, look, if you've got free transfers, then yeah, I would be looking at selling Hincapié because we know that Gabriel is going to be back soon anyway. But again, that depends on your bench. If you've got okay bench coverage, you like Hincapié for this week if he's available, then you may as well keep him. 1 more week of information is always positive. Certainly wouldn't take a hit to remove Hincapié as long as you have some bench coverage. But if you've got free transfers, you don't really have bench coverage. You're looking at Hincapié and actually you're thinking, Gabriel is going to be back within the next week or two, regardless. Maybe you can move Hincapié on. You've identified a replacement. If you feel this is a nice opportunity to go for an Everton defender, for example, maybe you don't have O'Reilly yet. Maybe you haven't got Virgil and you quite like the look of Virgil this game week. Then, yes, certainly I'd be having a good look at making that transfer. But like, for free, not for a hit, I think, is what I would say there. What are your opinions on Man City defenders? Like O'Reilly is good, but how about Nunes, Gvardiol, and Ruben with the good returns? Look, they're all good. I think O'Reilly is still the best. He looks like he always gets close to DEFCON, so you've always got a chance of picking up those points. And his attacking data is pretty strong as well. Hey Dan, Merry Christmas. What's the wildcard draft? The wildcard draft was in yesterday's video. I don't know if you saw that. I don't think I changed very much of it. Sell Matty Cash for a hit? Probably not. I think generally speaking with defenders, I wouldn't be selling them for hits. Defenders are often luxury transfers, particularly if you've got a lot of DEFCONing defenders. Even like, for example, in my teams, I've got Malik Chow on my bench. If, for example, that I was forced to play him, I mean, I would rather play Malik Chow than take a hit, for example. So, okay, say for example, Richards and Collins were both injured, were definitely not going to play. So my fifth defender is Chow. So I can either take a hit to remove, a Richards or a Collins, or I can just play Chow. I'll probably just play Chow and just pick up some DEFCON points and move on. And that'll be the end of that. 452XI says, what 7 million or lower midfielders would you recommend? 7 million or lower? I mean, Szoboszlai, if he was available, but he's not. So Szoboszlai would be the player I would want for the long term, or at least medium term at that price range. But outside of that, I mean, it's tricky, right? Because we're looking at like Declan Rice now over 7 million. What's Rice now at? 7.2. Hang on, let's see if we can get some hub suggestions for this one. So, I need to log in. That should be fine. All right, toolbox. Points predictions. Let's try and get some inspiration here. So midfield, 7 million or less. Like, it's difficult. Gordon is above, Rogers is above, Bruno G is still 7 million. Let me zoom out a little. There we go. Right. Price 7 million or less. So, in terms of predicted points, we've got Bruno G, Trossard, Anderson, Tielemans, Cherky, Kudus. It's not a huge amount, to be honest. Oh, Sharda I quite like. At 7 million, I quite like Kevin Sharda, so you could definitely consider going there. Outside of that, it's pretty tough. So I like Sharda. I like Cherky. I like Anderson still. And you could potentially go for Bruno G. I don't know if I go Trossard, just because of some rotation risk there. Martinelli has picked up a knock, but I don't think he's going to see him out for very long. So I think Trossard will probably cause you more problems later down the line. So yeah, there's a few suggestions there. Matthias says, subscribe today. Also sent in my team this morning. Will you still be going over teams? Yes. So for members at the starting 11 tier or above, yes, I will be going over some of the teams in the first hour of the stream, which of course we are 15 minutes into the first hour of the stream. But yeah, I'll check out to see how many teams we've got, and once there's a few in there, we'll just go through them. I think. Let's have a look here. Because obviously the member stream this week was a little bit earlier than usual. So a few people missed it, and I want to make sure that anyone who missed out on the member stream still has an opportunity to have their team rating. Although, to be honest, as you are here right now, Matthias, Maeve, we may as well do your team now. Let's just have a look at it now. We may as well. So, this is Maeve's team. Let's see what we got. So, Raya, Virgil, O'Reilly, Collins, Richards, Saka, Cunha, Foden, Anderson, Haaland, Eka, TikTok. Looking pretty strong. Similar to my team, to be fair. Triple captain now, question mark. Because you forgot the deadline last week. Can't afford Gordon. I mean, why do you need Gordon? Are you trying? Oh, because you're trying to follow along with my team, I guess. Maybe that's the case. Triple captain. You've got Sunderland for Haaland next week. Is that right? Sunderland. Is it Sunderland away? Let's verify that. Thing is that the fixtures are so close together, like it's easy to get mixed up. Yeah, Sunderland away for City next week. I would say that is the, if you still have your triple captainship remaining, your best opportunity is going to be Sunderland away in Gameweek 19 out of this week and next. So I'd go for one of them. You triple captain, at least. Outside of that, assuming you've made your transfers, then no, you're looking good. How do you send your team? So team ratings are only available to members of the channel at the starting 11 tier or above. Just to show you on screen very quickly how that works. This is how it works. So those are your members' perks, actually. I think that's all correct still. Yeah. So yeah, those are your members' perks. If you are a member, you're gonna, or if you're a member at the starting 11 tier, you're gonna have access to team ratings. We do that every week in a live stream, but also we sometimes do some team ratings on deadline stream as well. Depending on how busy we are, depending on how early we can kick off the streams. And how much time we can spare, I suppose. So there you go. If that's of interest to anyone, of course, becoming a member of the channel does help to support the channel as well. So much appreciated everyone who does get involved with that. I think we've got a couple hundred members of the channel now, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you, everyone. We only launched it really properly in member perks this season, so I'm very glad that a few of you guys have got involved with that one. Right. Where were we? Back to where we were. So 452XI was asking about preferences between Bruno, Sharda, and Cherky. I think if it was me, I would go Sharda. I think if we're looking at minutes, security, fixtures, you know, underlying stats, attacking output, and just a little bit of eye test, to be honest, having watched Sharda originally. I mean, Sharda looked really good. He looked like, I know it was Lewis Potter who ended up getting the goals in game week 17, but Kevin Sharda was, one of the players who looked the most dangerous in that game. Certainly more dangerous than Thiago, which is another discussion entirely. But yeah, certainly I'd be very tempted by Sharda if you're looking at 7 million or less. Dan, is it worth doing Semenyo to Gordon next week? Maybe. And Matthias says, okay, so I'm triple captaining Haaland. Yeah, Haaland next week, game week 19. What about Gordon? Should I do another transfer? I mean, I wouldn't force Gordon into your team. I definitely wouldn't force him into your team. Like, I've only picked Gordon because it worked for my budget and I fancied taking a bit of a risk. So, yeah, I certainly wouldn't be, pushing this transfer on anyone, really. Gordon is far from essential. In fact, he's a bit of a risky punt. And, as I look through my team, even though, we've got Richards here, we've got Collins here, maybe he doesn't have the best fixtures. These are players who I'm very happy, very comfortable, and very secure with in the longer term and in the future game weeks. Whereas Gordon could very quickly become a weak link in my team, where I think everyone else I kind of have long-term confidence in. So I certainly would not be pushing anyone to go for Gordon. This one could go either way. It could go very well. And, those of you who've been around the channel for a while do know that I do like to take the odd risk here and there. I do need to make sure I don't overdo it with the risks. But for my one risk that I'm currently rocking, it is going to be Gordon. And there is a very good chance that I actually sell him within the next couple of game weeks if things don't go to plan with him. So we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, definitely not a player I'll be forcing into your FPL teams if he doesn't work for you. If, it's going to take a hit to get him in, etc., etc. It's probably a sign that he's probably not the guy for you, I would say. But that said, tonight is going to be very enjoyable as a Gordon and indeed Cunha owner. I think this is going to be exciting. Two probably of the biggest goal threats in tonight's game. Could be good fun. Lots of questions around Richards. I think Richards, you just start him. You just keep him. He's going to be useful. Like, I think Richards, if he's not playing this game week, he should be back for Fulham at home in game week 19. And I will probably play him for Fulham at home in 19. Will I probably play him? I don't know. There's a chance I play him because actually a lot of my other players have pretty good fixtures. We've got Collins at home to Spurs. We're going to have Chow away to Burnley. O'Reilly's going to have Sunderland. Virgil's going to have Leeds. So I'm going to have to make a decision on game week 19. But yeah, certainly Richards is going to be at least useful, at least a consideration. Still super strong for DEFCON. And, there is still a non-zero chance he starts this game week. And he's no risk of a 1-pointer, or very little risk of a 1-pointer this week, which is great. It's the good kind of injury. It's the best kind of injury you can have to an FPL asset. When you know what their issue is, you know how likely they're to be out for, and you know that they are either going to play or not, and nothing in between, which is great. Matthias says, okay, so I'm tripling Haaland next week, but my team looks good enough now then. No need to use any of my remaining low transfers. Sorry for the message spam. No problem with the message spam. I mean, you're a paying member of the channel. It's like the least I can do is help you out, right? Yeah, no, your team looks strong. Your team looks fine. I would be happy to rock with what you've got. I'd be happy with it. Scott says Richards is going for me. Can't see many clean sheets in the next 5 or 6. Yeah, if you don't fancy Richards for the long term, by all means, sell him. I mean, that is always a deciding factor. If he's useless to you this week, or at least might not be useful to you this week, and also you're not going to play him in the future game weeks, you've got free transfers. Sell, man. Sell away. Sell away. Don't see an issue with that. I'm on free hit. Who should I replace? Wilson? Should I replace Wilson and with who? Oh, there's no chance I'd be picking Wilson on a free if I was on a free hit this week. It really depends on your budget. The midfielders I like are Cunha, Gordon, Saka, Foden, obviously. So the 4 midfielders I have, I really like. Outside of that, midfielders for this game week, who are we looking at? So, I mean, yeah, potentially Rice, potentially Semenyo. Should we have a look? Let's check out some goal scorer odds. Cherky is definitely in the conversation. Could you go for another Liverpool guy? Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz. I'd be very keen on Florian Wirtz this week as well. And Rob stuff. Let's check it out over here. All right, so that's projected FPL points. I want this, the latest clean sheet odds. We've got goal scorer odds as well. Okay, so projected goals and clean sheet odds. So maybe if you're looking for attackers for this week in isolation, you're looking at Arsenal, you're looking at Liverpool, you're looking at City, and interestingly, you may be looking at Chelsea as well. Brentford there as well, of course. Like we mentioned Sharda earlier as a potential pick. I think he's still very interesting. Could go for someone like Lewis Potter in defence if you're on a free hit as well. Could be fun. Should we build a free hit team? We could maybe build a free hit team, to be fair. Like, I don't know how useful it is, but it sounds kind of fun, right? Always nice today. Just build like, if you were to be on a free hit this week, what kind of players would you like? Which players are we expecting a lot from? Before we do that, let's check out the goal projections. Just to get an idea of who we might expect to score. So, Haaland, Ekatike, super obvious. Then we've got Gyökeres, Gakpo, maybe some rotation and form risk there. Mateta, similar situation. Thiago, I think, is honestly good for this game week. Who else have we got here that's interesting? I guess we're looking at midfielders. So Cunha, Gordon, both 0.39. I love that, man. I love that, man. Like, to have both of these players in this game, I'm excited. So basically, between them, they're projected 0.78 goals. So in all likeliness, we're going to get a goal from one of them. If there's a penalty takes place in the Newcastle Man United game, I'm laughing. I'm absolutely laughing. As long as Gordon hasn't been subbed off by the time it's taken and it goes to Newcastle. That would be a frustrating one. A very frustrating one. Yeah, like McAllister is in here, by the way. And I think that's maybe largely due to penalty share. We're expecting McAllister to probably be the penalty taker. But I had to think about this. I know people are saying McAllister probably takes the penalty with no Szoboszlai, no Salah, no Isak. But, like, what about Florian Wirtz? I'm sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure Florian Wirtz took penalties for Leverkusen last season. Any knowledgeable people in the chat who can verify or not verify that? So, okay, with that information, he did. All right, well, there you go. Let's do a quick free hit. That sounds fun to me. Or like team of the week, whatever you want to call it. So let's reset this. We'll do our like an 101 million budget. So this tool is giving me an 100 million budget, but we'll go one over. In fact, let's just change the budget. We'll go 101 million. I think most people are at that or more by this point. So we want Haaland, we want Cunha, we probably want Saka. We definitely want TikTok. Probably want O'Reilly. Probably want Virgil. And then we'll kind of work from budget. So we might have to move some people, but I think the third best forward is probably going to be Thiago this week. Who else do we like the look of this week? We did mention Foden, but I wonder if there's maybe some other things you could do with the money with this week. Because Forest aren't actually that bad of a defence. They've been putting up some decent underlying numbers for defence recently. I mean, yeah, obviously, Sean Dyche teams, they do what they do when they do what they do. So maybe that is a consideration. So we've got Florian Wirtz in there. Who else did we... maybe look at as oh yeah, like Gordon and Cunha. So we'll probably remove one of these attackers. I'm gonna put. Oh no, we've got Cunha in already. So we go Gordon, and to be fair, like maybe a 3-4-3, something like this, and then we could just fill in the gaps with like Raya. Is this too expensive? We'll find out soon enough. But like something like this could be pretty cool. If we can go for an Arsenal defender, like maybe Calafiori, a little bit cheaper. Oh, you got Tarkovsky as well and Keane. So, oh, kind of want Keane. Kind of want Keane. Kind of want him. Do I want him more than an Arsenal? That's the question. So, okay, you could go maybe Keane or Calafiori. Difficult to say. And then we are pretty much out of money at this point. Let's just go Kleiny, liney, line. Oh, man, we are over budget. We are over budget. We're going to have to find a way to cut some corners here. Let's go. Is there any 4.2 midfielders? Or is that like just too far? Too far. All right, let's stick with Deveni. We'll find another cheap defender here as well. We'll go Goodmanson. That's not too bad. All right, we need to find 4.4 million. Pickford is maybe the play. That could help a little bit. So that's saved 0.5. We're still way over. So we've got to ditch one of these attackers and go for a cheap one, right? Gordon too expensive. The thing is, he's actually the one of the cheaper attackers that we've got on this free hit team. So downgrading him doesn't really help us that much. Someone else is going to have to go. Is there any cheap forwards that look good for this week? I mean, you could argue Calvert-Lewin, couldn't you? So could we go Thiago to Calvert-Lewin? Still got to find 3.5 million. Virgil to Canate. Okay. Vert's a bad deal. Could be onto something there. Saka is not necessary. He's not necessary, is he? You could probably you could probably get away with just going Saka to Rice, couldn't you? I still do think that if money were no issue, then maybe I would go for Saka, but FPL is a game as much about managing budget as anything else. So, okay. This team is therefore costs, just to clarify on screen. In fact, let's just put the whole thing to 101 minus 101. So this team costs 101.1 million. So most people are probably going to be able to do a little upgrade on this, but wait, are we missing a? Have I put a defender in a goalkeeper? I'm confused. Am I missing a goalkeeper? How has this happened? Let's I don't know. I don't know what's happened here. Why I've got have I bugged the website? It's glitched. Okay, so just assume that, one of those cheap defenders is like a cheap goalkeeper. I don't know how I've broken the tool, but I have. Is there 3.8 goalkeepers that exist? No. So okay, so this team would actually technically cost 101.2 if you swapped out one of Klein or Goodmanson. And then I would play Gordon ahead of one of Keane or Calafiori. Maybe there's an argument to say O'Reilly. You don't need Calafiori necessarily, do you? I mean, to be fair, if we downgraded Calafiori, maybe we could even upgrade this a little more. I wouldn't mind trying to get Calvert-Lewin to Thiago. If it's possible. But again, it's going to be so dependent on your budget. Let's find someone like 4.5 or less, 4.6. Do the job. Or you know what? Not Vandenberg. I think I said Vandenberg just then. Let's go. Screw it. Let's just go cheap as we can. So actually, I don't know how much this team costs at this point, but I think 101 million. And this is not bad. For 101 million, which is a pretty reasonable budget, a pretty modest budget. That's strong. I think that's strong. It's got no Arsenal defenders, though, and that is risky. Would you rather maybe have like Raya instead of Pickford? Just to have, like, just to cover yourself against the impending doom of Arsenal clean sheets? Possibly. So that takes it up to 101.5. You have got Keane there. Yeah. Free hit wise, something like this, to me, looks good. For a modest budget. Wow. We're getting a little more expensive, 101.5 million, but you get the point. Super chat from L. Chivers, who says, Semenyo and Wilson all through transfers. 1. Keep for 18. Tacunya and Lefay. Oh, wait, sorry. 1. Keep for 18. Wait, hang on, I'm confused. Tacunya and Lefay / Anderson get 19. 2. Tacunya and Lefay in 18. Or 3. To Verts when we punt and Lefay 18. Onto Cunha. And Lefay onto Cunha 19. Or one of them. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. Even though I may have butchered the text. But I think if with 4 free transfers, like, just do it now, I think. Cunha to Lefay, just bring them in. Goodbye Semenyo, goodbye Wilson, get it done. That's what I would do. I would sell them, the pair of them. Get out of here. And I would go straight to Cunha, rather than going for Verts, I think. Cunha, to me, is a higher priority transfer than Florian Verts. So hopefully that helps you out, my friend. VKTR7766. Thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Really, really appreciate it. Dan, what's your team value at? Just want to compare whether I am behind or ahead on team value. Oh, that's a good question. Should we find out? I'll refresh. I don't know if I've done that recently. Super chat from Tanmay says, start Wilson over Gay, Alderete, and Thiago. Nah, you play Thiago. You 100% to play Thiago this week. If you're keeping Thiago, you gotta play him, man. So I guess the answer therefore is no. So my team value is 103.9 million. I don't know if that's good or, but I don't think it's bad. But it's I think it's on the stronger end. I appreciate there's probably some people with higher team value than 103.9. And if you are on a higher team value than 103.9, feel free to flex in the chat. Because hey, we gotta celebrate the achievements, even if they are just team value and not so much points. You gotta flex the achievements where you can. Take any victories, right? But regardless, I did see some other chats here. So yeah, what to do with Wilson and Richards? My opinion is, in most scenarios, you just play them and hope for the best. A couple of member chats in here. We got, hey Dan, hope you had a lovely Christmas. Got 4 free transfers. Thinking of using 3 to fund Ekitike and Cunha. Would you do Richards to Esteve, Van Dijk / Timber to O'Reilly, or Wilson to Lefay? It depends on the strength of your team generally. If you feel like you actually won't be playing Richards very often, then you could just take him to Esteve. If not, I would probably edge towards Wilson to Lefay. and keep Van Dijk and Timber. That would be my advice there. Hey Dan, thoughts on Lewis Potter? Would you still start him over a DEFCON defender like Alderete? I think there's definitely potential to start Lewis Potter. Yeah, I think he's definitely an interesting pick for this week. Amaral says, "Hey, hi mate, hope you're doing well. Bench 2 of Timber, Anderson, O'Reilly, and Rodon, and 1 of Bruno G and Wilson and Voltemada and Dubravka or Sanchez. I played Sanchez over Dubravka. That's an easy one. I would bench. Okay, I bench Anderson and Rodon, with Anderson before Rodon on the bench. And as for Wilson, Bruno G, and Voltemada, if you only bench one, I mean, I guess you bench Wilson, right? Because Bruno G and Voltemada are absolutely very solid picks for a game against Manchester United. I'll be more than happy to play those guys above Wilson. Kane with a super chat here says Bruno to Cunha, Thiago to Ekitike, Saka to Rice for a -4. I don't know if that's worth a -4. I don't know. I think I would be more likely to do just Bruno to Cunha if it was my team, but it's not my team. Tough old game. Let's see. Would I do that -4? I would try and avoid. I would definitely do the Bruno to Cunha move. I'd lock that in right now. I'd be more than happy to go ahead with that one. The other two are entirely optional and arguably a lux for one transfer and a hit. Arguably a little luxurious, because as good as Ekitike is, if you can get to him, I really think it's important we don't forget that Thiago is still a good pick. Just because people are selling Thiago to someone potentially better doesn't make Thiago a bad pick. And if you can do it for free, then there's a strong argument to do it. But for hits, I don't know. Free hit now or next game week? It completely depends on your team. If your team looks weaker this game week than it does next game week, yeah, you get the idea. So, look at your team, figure out what your team would look like in game week 18, what your team would look like in game week 19, identify which one looks weaker, and the week in which your team looks weaker, that's your free hit week. Is this the 1 week I played Dubravka if Kelleher is the alternative? Yeah, possibly. I mean, I have Dubravka over Kelleher on the bench list. I'll show you what I have on the bench list currently, and we'll maybe add / remove some players later on in the stream. But this is what I have for the bench list currently. And so I probably need to add Richards to this. Like I'll add him separately. So I think honestly, like he would be going in the same area. So Richards, and we'll add a little icon next to him. Yeah. So that's kind of my current thinking in terms of bench list. It's not bad. It's not bad. We have got Dubravka, but I did say that I would prefer Sanchez to some of these goalkeepers. So I am going to bump Sanchez up a little. So at least it's nice. Says Bruno G and Thiago to Ekitike and a 6.6 mid. I don't know who yet. Or Saka and you to Ekitike and Rice. Well, here's the thing. If you can't identify another a midfielder that you like, then maybe Saka is the player to sacrifice. I think in your instance, I maybe would sell Saka to Rice. Because there's no point just grabbing a random 6.6 million midfielder that you don't really like just to try and force an Ekitike move. Thiago is a better pick than any sub 6.6 million midfielder that you can pick up right now. So in that, case, I think yeah, Saka and Gu to Ekatike and Rice. And you can always think about, moving Bruno G on in the future if you don't like the look of him, but he's got good fixtures, could be fine. So there we go. I think you got a good choice. Why is everyone picking Rice? Because he does the points. I mean, there's no better way of saying it, right? He is a player who will always find a way to get points, the cheeky devil. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to score an FPL point, and that's what we care about at the end of the day. When it comes to this great game we call FPL. A bit sloppy. Chow Anderson. I'm playing Anderson at Forest over Chow. Personally. It snows. Says, hey Dan, Merry Christmas, mate. On a free hit. Got Gordon and Cunha. Should I captain Haaland or Ekatike? I still think Haaland is my favourite captain. I think we could probably do a poll to see what you guys think. But I'm chilling captaining Haaland, to be honest. I'm happy to just Haaland, chill, relax, and watch it all play out. And see what happens there. Wilson is likely to start, I guess, due to other absences, right? Not necessarily. Kevin is available, for example. So yeah, there's obviously it'll be Wilson would be first choice, but I don't think there is a need for him to start necessarily if he's not ready to go. Forest is 17th compared to Wolves 20th. If you want to go different, maybe. Well, in terms of captaincy, yeah, well, honestly, I don't think that actually matters that much because actually I think Forest defensively right now are better than 17th in the Premier League, far better than 17th in the Premier League. So I like league position means very little to me when it comes to FPL picks. Because also things change. Like Forest for their first however many games before Sean Dyche came along were a very different team to the Forest we're seeing now as well. And it's both before and after games that are counted towards the league position. So yeah, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that, I don't think. I'm going to do a poll. Chewy FPL says, could you add Miley, increased DEFCON opportunities playing out of position at right back and has set piece threat? Where would I put Miley on this? I'm not going to add Miley because he is differential, but where would I put him? I mean, not super high, probably just in a similar position to Forrest Anderson, right? Maybe just below. Actually, can I ask, is anyone captaining anyone other than Haaland or Ekatike? Or is it a pretty obvious one this week between those two? Haaland, Ekatike. Okay, sorry, I'm just writing the poll for you guys. Thiago, really? Someone in my mini league is on Gordon captain. You know what? If you are feeling super brave, it's not the worst shout in the world. Maybe I'm saying that because I have Gordon bias right now. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much else out there. So it really is just Ekatike or Haaland, pretty much. Don't see any strong opinions elsewhere. Okay. Polls going up in the chat if you fancy answering it or not. The choice is entirely yours. By the way, guys, we've got 1 hour and 13-ish minutes until deadline. So, yeah, just to give you an update on how we're getting on for time. We've got Slim Jim Bobby Bob says, like the stream, fellow FPL peasants. FPL peasants is a bit harsh. I mean, I feel like we're FPL legends, all of us. It's one of my pretty competitive Twitter group chat mini leagues as well. Oh, really? Is it someone I might know, Chewy? from or in and around the Twitter FPL community. Curious, man. Curious. I have seen like a lot of, well, not a lot. I've seen some hype for Gordon, but it is almost entirely outside of the analytical realm. And I kind of want to, I'm trying to keep the core of my team very analytical based. And Gordon is just not that at all. At all. Finar says, Merry Christmas, bro. I'm benching boosting this week. Should I take a -4 to swap Harry Wilson with someone who will definitely play? No, I don't think so. Like, because think about it. If Harry Wilson scored 4 points this week, you'd be happy with that, right? But if you take a -4, then I don't know. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to basically say that you need your player you bring in to score 4 points minimum and possibly then some, because if Wilson just plays, that's 2 points there. I just can't see it being worth, like, particularly in Wilson's price bracket. I just can't see anywhere. There's an account on the FPL Twitter Spaces community. Oh, fair enough. FPL Twitter Spaces community. I need to listen to more FPL Twitter Spaces. I need to get involved more of those, because I do like genuinely enjoy the chat and just hearing people talk. Glenn Fiddich claiming to have some Arsenal team news. I don't know how true that. I mean, like, your prediction, what you've said would be my prediction as well for the back line, but I don't know. I don't think there's any verification behind that, particularly this far ahead of time. Can't see it. What else? Should I put Enzo in Enzo or Stack for Richards? I just play. If you like Richards more than Enzo and Stack, just play Richards and hope for the best. What more can you do? What more can you do? And then just see who you prefer as your backup, which is presumably going to be Enzo. Is Cherky above Bruno G on the bench list? Yes, I think I would say so. I think so. I mean, like, not hugely higher, because, I don't think Forest away is an amazing fixture, really. I think Manchester United away from home is a better fixture for the Newcastle guys, for example. Richards to Keane for free? I think I would do that, yeah. If you have a free transfer to move Richards to Keane, I think I would go for it. You think Capio going to play? I think it's probably 50-50 on that one. We don't know. You know, like, as ever with Arsenal, it's impossible to know for sure. They just bamboozle you. Also, you're not concerned about the DEFCON stats versus West Ham for Anderson? Well, like, on a game-by-game basis, that West Ham don't concede very many DEFCON points? Anderson gets DEFCON points whoever he plays. There's, like, I think Anderson is another of a beast that he's just going to pick up DEFCON points. And, like, what? Are you saying it's not going to happen, or it is going to happen? Because presumably we're just going to see West Ham play long ball and Anderson just keeps headering them out and farming the DEFCON points. I think he could do pretty well. But at the same time, I think West Ham will score against Fulham. Yeah, West Ham has the lowest average DEFCONs against in the league. Is that season data? Because I was looking at some more recent data, and it looked like actually Forest were pretty poor for trying to get DEFCON against, for centre-backs at least. But yeah, no, I don't think that worries me that much. I think from the patterns I've seen so far, and I might be wrong on this, and I definitely think there is something to be said about opposition, for sure. But with certain players, they are just DEFCONers, and they just will get DEFCON against anyone. I think Anderson's probably one of those guys. Because it's not like Anderson is like, if Anderson was like doing, okay, 8 DEFCONs 1 week and maybe 10, maybe 11 at a push, yeah, next week, then you say, okay, he's kind of peripheral. Maybe this is the week he's not going to get him. But I don't know, like players who just do like, oh, here's 15, here's 18, here's 24 Defcons in a week. Then you're kind of like, it's just kind of inevitable with this guy. And I've kind of learned that the hard way as a non-owner of Anderson. But again, maybe that's like me being a pessimistic non-Anderson owner and just fearful of the player. Members chat from Nikyle. Hi Dan, Merry belated Christmas to you and your family. Up at 4:20 a.m. in Australia. Is that what the time is right now in Australia? Crikey, mate. Best bench boost on. Done. -4 already on Bruno, Deveni, Ekatike in. Richards out. Take a -8 or play for. Richards isn't out, by the way. He's probably out, but he's not out. If you have any kind of playing player on your bench, I wouldn't take a -4 for Richards. Out, no. Frimpong. Frimpong draft fantasy or maybe on a free hit. That's a push. Not a player I'd be using transfers on. What's the best way to send you my draft team to help me pick the bench? Ah, crikey, mate. I mean, asking an hour and a half before deadline is probably not the best time to ask me for draft fantasy at all. I haven't figured out my own draft fantasy team yet. I have to sort that out after the deadline. But like, it's tricky because directly after this stream, I'm having a nice Christmas dinner with my wife, so I don't really have time today, unfortunately. I wish you'd asked me earlier, Jan. I would have helped you out. And if you do, you know, you can send me a Twitter DM. We've had positive interactions before, so you know, possibly can help you out. But yeah, it's a little late now, man. Sorry. Unless like you just have like an individual question for the stream, then yeah, sure. I'm answering a lot of questions in the chat, so spam it in, and we'll see if hopefully we can get some more. Brandon says, "Merry Christmas, mate. I've got full free transfers, pretty set on going. Eke, TK, Cunha, Rice, Obi, Thiago. Wait, getting Eke, TK, and Cunha. Selling who? Or is it buying all? Buying all of Eke, TK, Cunha, Rice, Obi, and Thiago? Or is Obi Thiago a player I don't know about? Because that's 5 players, right? Unless I'm miscounting. Ekatike and Cunha, by the way, I just think are just... If you can get to these 2 players this week with free transfers, you just do it. You just do it. And that's what I'd be thinking. I think no clean sheet for Arsenal against Brighton. Hey, you know, you never know. You never know. Arsenal are always going to have a good chance of a clean sheet, but Brighton are a solid team. You know, you wouldn't be too surprised by them scoring. Scott says, Merry Christmas, bro. Still have triple captain, Haaland, Ekatike, Saka, and Foden this week or next. Yeah, if you have a triple captain left, and this goes for anyone who has a triple captain, I would be triple captaining Haaland next game week. There we go. Oh, you mean you're selling Thiago, Enzo, Ra, Anderson? Oh, man. Full transfers. Going for it. Going for it, bro. Nicole says, sorry, Cunha in, not Bruno. Bench boost in 18, free hit 19. Wow. 2 chips to play in 2 game weeks. Give me hopefully a couple of green arrows for you, my friend. I have to get Cunha next week for Semenyo, unfortunately. Gordon came in this week. You know what? A man after my own heart. Gordon. Honestly, Gordon gang, is there anyone else here in the Gordon gang? If so, I'm hoping we're going to have a good few weeks. We are taking an enormous risk with Gordon, each and every one of us. Minutes potential is low. A benching against Burnley in game week 19 is all but inevitable. But if it pays off, it's going to pay off. So we'll be hoping for some penalties. We'll be hoping for some open play, assists, maybe even goals. Would you go Gordon over Rice? Yes, I would personally, but that's only because I'm leaving an Arsenal slot open to bring Gabriel back in very soon. BJ in the super chat here says Senesi, Timber, Anderson, Mukiele, Cherky, Saka, Wilson, Foden, Ekitike, Haaland, Bruno, Gu, Richards on the bench. Used all my free transfers. Would you do Cunha or Gordon from -4 and 11, please? You are a little light. It depends how much money you have in the bank, really. I would if you can get Cunha in for. Would I just do it? Yeah. Okay. We're gonna say yes. In your situation, because you are quite light on the bench, I think I would just do Bruno Fernandes to Cunha for a -4. Stick Bruno in your starting 11 ahead of Wilson? Wait, no, not Wilson. Mukiele. Yeah. Yeah, so stick Bruno to Cunha. Cunha in the starting 11 ahead of Mukiele. Lock it. Lock it in. That's what I would do, my friend. Is Cherky a risky pick due to Pep Roulette? I think right now, not really. Because there's still no Doku. I don't know if Savinho is really fancied at the moment. We'll see. Got Bernardo Silva playing out wide and at times. Yeah, for now he's fine. I think if that Semenyo deal is done, though, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Comedy Addict says on holiday in the USA. Only 12:30 here. So that's in the day. Yeah, my New York planned trip is ramping up. I'm very excited. Don't know when I'm going to go yet, but it's looking pretty likely to happen this year now, which is exciting this side of summer. So I'm very jealous of your US holiday, and I hope to take a similar holiday in the near future. Hey, Dan, what's your thoughts on Voltemada versus United? I like him. I like him, man. I like him. Can you add Hincapié to the bench list? I think that's valid. That's valid. We probably need to remove someone, although we're going to get pretty tight here. I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go Hincapié here. I would just start him. And if he can't play, you know what? Fair enough. It happens. I'll start him. So hopefully that answers a few people have been asking about Hincapié, to be fair. Without Sobo, what's the supply to Ekitike going to be like? Doubts on captain for him. I mean, I'm doubtful for captain on him too, to be honest. Not really a player I'm super interested in captaining. But it's a great fixture, and he's in good form. And, you know, there's other players who can supply. There's going to be Florian Wirtz. There's going to be the fullbacks, whoever they might be. McAllister, always a player who does have the ability to have a bit of creativity as well. So there is other outlets of creativity in that team. Hincapié to Canate will roll the transfer. Anderson available. Also have Richards. I think I would hold off. I think. MCFC OK said got in Gordon as well. Liked what I saw from the Chelsea game. Yeah, it was similar for me really. I like what to be fair, the last few times I've watched Gordon in like the last few weeks, month, I have been impressed. I think he's looked good. I think he's looked like Newcastle's best attacker. And he is getting the odd opportunity to score outside of penalties as well, which is always nice to see. But like being on penalties for a team that seems to get a lot of penalties, particularly if you look at all competitions. Like we loved Thiago because he kept getting penalties. Can we love Gordon if he can keep getting penalties? We just need more of these penalties to occur in the Premier League because they're happening in other competitions like crazy. Yeah, again, they are happening a little bit in the Premier League too. Wesley says, I'm going for Gordon this week. I'm going with my FPL mate. Let's go. Let's go. Tanmay says, should I do Wilson over Gahey / Alderete? Well, in terms of bench order, I'm going to drop Wilson down a little bit, actually. That's a good point because there has been a press conference since. I'm going to drop him down a little, but not a lot, like a huge amount. So I'm still going to keep Wilson up there. Maybe just dropping him below Semenyo and Calvert-Lewin. I still think in most instances I'd be looking to start him. Price rises at 8:30 p.m. Over 1 or 2:30 a.m. feels like cheating, mate. Yeah, but to be fair, I can't lie to you. I am always up at that time anyway. I'm always up at 1:30. So like I have an alarm set on my phone every day for like 1 a.m. or maybe 1:15 a.m. ready to anticipate any potential price changes each evening just in case I need to react to them. But like I'm awake then anyway, so it's just like an alarm on my phone to remind me to check it out. So I think I'd actually be I'm so in the vibe of checking price changes at like at 1 a.m. 1:30 a.m. I think I prefer it now to 8:30 p.m. But like people are different, aren't they? Different sleep schedules and what have you. Brandon says, "Yeah, okay, I'm on board the Gordon gang. Then I'll be on the there for the we won tweet. I don't know if I'm gonna do a we won tweet for Gordon. Maybe we could do something. I mean, we've got to, if we get the Gordon win, if we get the Gordon W, we have to celebrate it, right? Because it is such a risky pick. It is a differential pick, and you know, we as Gordon owners, hopefully, you guys are also humble in thinking this could go very wrong, and we might score very few points. And also, if we do score very few points, we can't really complain because that's the risk we took. Right, Jan here says, in draft, I'm trying to choose between Enzo, Casemiro, Richarlison, and then play both Gay and Lacroix, or just one plus someone else like Van den Berg, Ruben Dias, Saliba. I'd play Saliba over both. I'd certainly play him above Gay. I'd probably play him above Lacroix as well. Yeah, would I play Van den Berg above one of Gay or Lacroix or Ruben Dias? I play Ruben Dias over Gay here as well, I think. Van den Berg I probably wouldn't play ahead of Gay or Lacroix. And in terms of those attackers, I probably like Enzo the most. Depends what mode of fantasy you're playing, to be fair, but probably like Richarlison the least, Enzo the most, and Casemiro in between. That's what I do. It's Cherky, or I have to take a hit to get Ektik and Shada in, or rough. In that case, yeah, Shada's not worth a hit. I guess it's Cherky. I guess it's Cherky. Well, there you have it. But like Cherky's a good fit for your team, I think. Fahad with a super chat here says, who to play, Miley, Senesi, or Alderete? Plus bench order. I would play. Are these players on the bench list? Should be. Senesi is above Mukiele, but it's like close. It's Alderete though, Defcon man. Oh, okay. Senesi is the Defcon man. I'm gonna say Senesi above all others. But Lewis Miley, he's probably gonna get Defcon as well, but not definitely. I'm gonna say play Senesi, then Alderete, and then Miley. Got it. We got it. Any important players close to price changes? I'm annoyed with myself for waiting until today to make the Bruno transfer to Cunha. Hey, it happens, man. Sometimes patience is important. Like, a lot of people went early and sold Saka for Cunha before Bruno got injured, and that, like, you know, so it goes both ways. If you go too early, sometimes you can regret it too. Right, price changes. Let's check it out. Gravenberg going up tonight. Gravenberg, Gordon, Cunha, Stack, Miley, Voltamar going up. Mukiele, O'Reilly going up as well. Lewis Potter. You know what's crazy? Mukiele going up to 4.3, but Alderete is at 4. Like, they're the same player when it comes to points potential. Similar DEFCON numbers, similar attacking threat, similar identical clean sheet potential because they play for the same team. And yeah, Mukiele is going to be 0.3 more. Mad to me. If you're buying new, surely you go Alderete over Mukiele at this point. But anyway, those are your price rises. Also looking like going down tonight. We're looking at Welbeck, Barnes, Van der Ven, and Jai. Wow, Van der Ven going back to where he started, 4.5. And Jai, Minter, Munoz, Pedro Porro, Gibbs White, Marvelashvili, PM Sar, Vicario, Delict, Cucurella, Dango, White. You know what's crazy? There is going to be some very good value picks. Like Dango 5.8, Munoz 5.8 is going to be okay. And Jai 6.2. Van der Ven's back to 4.5. Welbeck 6.3. A lot of these players, even Delict 4.9, maybe when he's available. Like, I feel like some of these players are gonna be kind of useful to us at some point or another at those kind of price tags. FPL Mate the GOAT. Wow, what a name again. Always nice to see that name. Says Miley or Chow to start. I doubt Chris Richards starts. Yeah, no, I mean I also doubt Chris Richards starts, but I would still put him in my starting 11 because I don't think he gets any minutes off the bench. If he doesn't start, I don't think he gets any minutes off the bench. So I think he's fine to put in your starting 11. But in terms of looking for that backup, I would prefer Lewis Miley to Malik Chow because I do expect Manchester United to score against Newcastle. I'd be quite surprised if Newcastle managed to keep a clean sheet. Don't get me wrong, it's very possible. Anything can happen in football. But in terms of what's likely and unlikely to happen, I think Newcastle probably one of the more unlikely clean sheets this game week. So there you go. Bully High says, Happy Christmas, Dan, Bowen or Verts on a wild card? Oh, good question. Both good. Let's just nip that one in the bud. Maybe Florian Wirtz, because I think there are more options to transfer Wirtz to later down the line, and the forward position is light. And if Bowen flops, I don't think there's many escape routes. Whereas if Wirtz flops, I think there's plenty of escape routes. So it makes more sense to me to go for Wirtz, I think. Just to let you know, guys, we've got 50 minutes. That's 50 minutes until the deadline. Game week 18. Convince me why Becker is a better pick above Kelleher. Fixture. This is by the way, this is the bench list. So this is just about who to bench and who to start specifically in game week 18. So do not take transfer advice from the bench list. It is not intended that way at all. Indian FPL Zone says, I have Dubravka, Anderson, Rodon, Estev on the bench. Should I use bench boost or -4 Estev to some good defender? I would not take a -4 to change Estev on a bench boost. Is that worth a bench boost? I mean, it's not going to get much better than that. This is a better bench boost this week than next week would be. So therefore, I think you got to play the bench boost this week. And I don't think I'd take a -4 to facilitate it. Beardes says, I need under 4.7 goalkeeper, Verbruggen or Kelleher, both performing the same. Thoughts on Miley as an enabler, and third bench for my bench boost. Verts versus Ekatiko. Ekatiko over Verts for me. Pretty straightforward. Miley as a bench boost enabler, like him. Verbruggen versus Kelleher is interesting. I think I prefer Kelleher. If you have the choice. I've also noticed you said Timber not in training photos. However, that's like the most normal thing when it comes to Arsenal. If a player is doubtful, they will purposely remove, delete, hide any training photos of that player. Even if they are going to be available, Arsenal will not let you know about it, and they will not leave any clues, any traces in the training photos, because they know people like us are going to go through those training photos, and we are going to find it out. We are, as FPL managers, investigators above anything else, and we will find answers. And that is why Arsenal do their darndest to keep trade secrets. I just smell my drink all over myself. Lovely. There we go. Matthew says, Merry Christmas, buddy. Thank you very much, Matthew, and Merry Christmas to you as well. I hope you had a good one. Would you play Harry Wilson or Grealish on a free hit? No, neither. I don't really fancy either one of them, to be honest. Or not a free hit, anyway. Should I put I did make a free hit draft earlier. I don't know if you're interested in it at all. Let's find it. So this is my free hit draft that costs 101.5 million. And it's, I think, pretty strong. The risk here is you've got no Arsenal defenders other than Raya. So you're single Arsenal defense. And I think the rest of it is pretty straightforward. The difficulty is, if you are free hitting into this team, this kind of looks a lot like a lot of people's teams anyway. Like, a lot of people have Raya, a lot of people have Virgil or Canate, a lot of people are going to be bringing in Everton defenders, a lot of people have O'Reilly, a lot of people have Cunha, Rice, a lot of people have Haaland, Ekiti, Thiago. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. Orange flavored, of course. Always. Wow, I say always orange squash. It is sometimes blackcurrant squash, but today we're orange. Best Minter replacement, Dan, and who to bench from Anderson and Alderete. I mean, to be fair, you could just keep Minter. I don't think there's really much going on in the cheap price tags at the moment. I'm really not feeling it. Which was a big motivation behind my Gordon transfer, because I was just thinking, like, sub 7 million, there's no one really I want in midfield. So, like, just go Gordon and see what happens. Because it is tough in the cheap midfielder category right now. Really tough to pick out a good pick. And any player you pick out who you think is going to be a good cheap pick, maybe they're a good pick for a week. Maybe they were a good pick last game week, but there's no guarantee they're going to be a good pick next week. And it seems they flip constantly. And what you end up doing, and to be fair, I may end up having the same issue with Gordon, but just like as a wider issue in FPL right now, is you're picking up these cheap midfielders, you're realizing, actually, this is not working out, and you're moving them on every 2-3 weeks. You're just moving them on to another midfielder who you're not super keen on, but you're just trying to find the best solution. And it ends up becoming this perpetual cycle where you're kind of just spending a transfer every few weeks on the same position, same problem, and not really progressing your team. And I think at a certain point, you just got to say, all right, let's just get an Anderson and pick up 4 points per week. Let's just get an Enzo Lafay and only spend 4.9 million. Let's do something like that. Birides has just sent 5 gifted memberships, which is, no, 10 gifted memberships. Crazy. Thank you, legend. Hello. What? Thank you so much, man. What a hero. Okay, well, Birides, as we know, you are a legend of the channel. We know this by this point. Birides, formerly the Birides previously known as Birides, has sent 10 gifted. Let's put some W's in the chat for Birides. And the new members are going to be Tariq Ali, you are now a member of the channel, Charlotte Cork, Isaac Best, Abhishek 44, Matt 3427, JK Salts, Official Seasons, Benedict Azurde, Purple Sectors, and Chudy J. Wow. That's heroic. They're still coming through on my screen. They're still coming through on my screen. Amazing, amazing stuff. They just keep showing up. They're blocking the screen. That's just We won't complain. We won't complain. That's awesome. That's awesome. Birides, check all the W's in the chat for you, my friend. Official Season says thank you so much. So we got some appreciation in there. All good. All good. That's really cool to get that for everyone. Really impressed. Yeah, no, that's really, really generous. Really kind. Really kind stuff. The giving Christmas spirit is clearly with us. What's all this W thing? It just means win. Like, it's just like I don't know. I guess an online way of just celebrating something or someone in as few characters as possible. Because as much as we would all probably love to have the energy to write nice long messages of congratulations and thank yous and whatever, sometimes a W does the trick. Just a simple letter. Avishek also says here, Avishek says thanks a lot for the gifted membership. Birides says W for all of you guys. W for Dan and the great content. W for great green arrow. W for holidays. W. Sounds like you're going to start off the a web address, Birides. It is to show appreciation. Yeah, that's pretty much the way of describing it. But yeah, look, that's an early birthday gift for me, my friend. 2 days for my birthday. Does anyone know how old I'm going to be in 2 days' time? I can't. Where have the years gone? How am I this old? Like, with respect to people who are perhaps older than me, there's not many of you. But man. But anyway, 32. It would be nice if I was turning 32. Or would it? No, it wouldn't be nice at all. 35? That's just a violation, man. Come on. Anyway. Dan, how do I join the WhatsApp group with the experts to rate my team? So that is available to the members of the channel at the starting 11 tier or above. And it's a Discord chat, not a WhatsApp. People said I'm turning 30. Like, genuinely, that would be depressing if I was turning 30. Don't get me wrong, but it'd be better than turning 33, which I am apparently. How's that happened? I don't feel that age. Don't act that age either, to be honest. But there you go. Age is but a number. Right. Probably should get back to FPL, considering there are just 40 minutes until our deadline. Happy birthday for in a couple of days, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mabel says, "Same, mate. Are you also turning 33? Are we birthday twinning?" Ghost Era Paranormal says, "Happy Crimbo from Ireland using free hit chip. FPL states if you use a free hit in Gameweek 19, you can't use it again in Gameweek 20 with the new chips." Is that true? I guess this is unprecedented. But like, were you planning on using a free hit in Gameweek 20 anyway? I think for most of us, we probably, for our second round of chips, we're gonna deep it a lot more. So we're gonna be checking out chip strategy. We're gonna be checking out double and blank game weeks. We're gonna be checking out a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I'm excited to get cracking with the chip strategy videos. Like, I feel like the FPL Mate channel comes alive when it comes to chip strategy and planning. And I genuinely, there's so many great FPL channels out there. There's so many people who do such a good job doing so many different things. But I really do feel that one of the strengths of the FPL Mate YouTube channel is the chip strategy videos. I feel like I do a good job of making them really clear, really well explained, easy to understand, and just help people understand how it works, what's going on, so people can make some really strong decisions there. So I'm so excited to get stuck in with those. Maybe it was 1993 born. Well, technically the year after me. Technically. Free hit cannot be used in consecutive weeks. Interesting. I wouldn't let that impact free hit decisions in Gameweek 18 or 19 though. Personally. Is Menta slash Tiago to Ekasike slash Enzo Lefebvre for -8 points worth it? No, not from -8. No, I don't think so. But you never know what's going to happen in a game of football. But I can't. I would not. I can't see myself making that move. I was like again. Tiago is still a good pick. Interesting. Not sure if people will be able to use the wild card after a free hit in Game Week 19. I think I don't see why that would be an issue because in previous seasons, or indeed in the first half of this season, using a wild card after a free hit has been absolutely fine and totally doable. I wonder why they have made a decision to. It must be the technical limitations of the game. That's the only thing I could think of why you wouldn't be able to free hit in subsequent game weeks. That's the only thing I can think of. Any chance for Wilson or Richards 1-pointer? I think a Wilson 1-pointer is more likely than Richards. I think a Richards 1-pointer is very unlikely. At what age would you consider someone to be old and why? I think that shifts with your own age, doesn't it? When I was 21, I considered someone who was 28 old. Now I think someone who's 28 is young. Well, actually, no, not young, but just like normal. Normal? We're all normal. We're all normal. Well, most of us. I don't know if I'm included in that or not. I don't know. Who's someone who's old? Someone who is like 90 is objectively old. So we'll give that as an answer. A few people asking bench related questions, so I will just pop the bench list back on screen for us. Start 2 of Richards, Alder. Oh yeah, so that's a bench list question. Would you have Wilson for free hit this week? Why are so many people asking me about Wilson in a free hit this week? There's like, I mean, unless it's just the same person asking it over and over again and not listening to the answer. I mean, that's a possibility. No, no, I would not put Wilson in a free hit team this week. No, it's not worth the risk. Like the upside isn't high enough. But if you want to, regardless, then of course go for it. I will never stop anyone from following their heart. Z the Gooner says I am 49, young. Hey, by my 90 years old or is 90 years old is old definition, then yeah, sure, you're young. You might have a difficult job convincing some people you're young, but I also have the same problem, so I'm sure we relate in that regard. Tiago or Bowen on a free hit? I prefer Tiago to Bowen. Start Ballard, Senesi, or Gahey? Gahey. Did I miss the answer? Anderson to Tarkovsky for a -4. Sorry if I missed it. Oh, I don't think I answered that, but I wouldn't make that -4. No. Triple captain for Ekatike or Haaland. I missed it for an earlier week. Yeah, if you still have your triple captain, game week 19 on Haaland is what I would do. I'd say 60s plus is old, but I'm 37, so that's not me. That was me reading the chat, by the way. I'm not 37 yet. Mid 60. I mean, I guess that's retirement age, isn't it? But I don't know how someone who is in their 60s would respond to being called old. They might not like that. Whereas I think if you are 90 years old and someone called you old, then probably kind of have to take it on the chin by that point. You probably have to just go, yeah, you got me. You got me. Old codger. Granted. Yeah, sorry. Like, I'm comedy addict and anyone else. I understand. Like throughout the stream, people will ask the same question multiple times. I do try and get to everyone's questions, or I do as best as I can, whilst trying to maintain a nice flow and chat going on in the stream. But yeah, I can't. I won't always see the question the first time. So yeah, I appreciate your patience. Verts versus Tiago for a free hit. Ooh, that's a fun one. I think I'd go for Verts, honestly. Any chance Dewsbury Hall starts? No, I don't think so. I think he's going to be out for another couple of weeks, at minimum. I'd say probably you're going to lose another 2 or 3, 4 game weeks from him. Maybe more. But yeah, it's going to be not great for Dewsbury Hall. Saka and Semenyo to Cunha to Verts for -4 worth it. No. I don't think so. Dan, what do you think about Paqueta as a last midfielder now that West Ham's fixtures turns? Yeah, West Ham's fixtures are really good. And, you know, I have seen some hype around Paqueta in the FPL world. But what does Paqueta really offer other than penalties? His open play data is pretty weak, doesn't get defcons. It's just a pure fixture play. And I think it goes back to, you know, I was kind of saying earlier on in the stream where I think a lot of people are building a habit, and perhaps myself included, of picking a risky midfielder that you don't really want just for budget reasons, realizing they're crap, and then a couple of weeks later using another transfer on the same spot to just replace them. And then you basically are guaranteed to be forced into a transfer every couple of weeks. And that's not really what you want. So I think if you're going cheap, just if you can't find someone you genuinely really like, just pick a Defcon merchant, pick an Anderson, pick a Vifer, you know, just pick someone pretty straightforward. What's your rank? I'm at 140k right now, which is, I think, respectable. I think it's respectable. I don't think it's too bad. I think we'll get. I'm confident that we're going to finish in a respectable finish this season. I think we're going to have a good season. Maybe not a worldy season, but we're going to have a strong season this year. I can feel it. Right, Senesi or Anderson first on the bench. I think they're both on the bench list for you, my friend. What do you think about Gravenberch as an asset? Yeah, Gravenberch is and Gravenberch is going up in price tonight, so he's clearly a player of some interest. He is not a player I am keen on. There's no set pieces for him. His open play attacking threat is pretty much non-existent. He kind of tracks at maybe 0.05 XG per game, similar creative numbers, maybe up to 0.1 at a push. And then Defcon, yes, sometimes, but not always. So no set piece threat, very, very little open play threat. Defcon, inconsistent, but possible, but inconsistent. What is the benefits to him? And the other thing is that he eats up a Liverpool slot. You know, there's a very good chance you might want to triple up on Liverpool in the next few weeks, and you're not going to want one of those players to be Gravenberch. So again, is he another one of those players that you pick because you're forced due to price, and then you end up selling in a couple of weeks and using another transfer because you realized, yeah, this player isn't actually doing very much? I think so. I think so. Is Saka a must own on a wild card? No, not a must own. I'd still make an effort to have him in your team, but if it's not possible, then, you know, that's fine to remove him. Wilson or Semenyo to start. Both on the bench list, but we have gone for Semenyo above Wilson this week. Dr. Bread the Third says, Merry Christmas, Dan. Do you think Lewis Potter was a one-hit wonder, or is he genuine consideration as an attacking defender considering his price of 4.8? So yeah, he's actually been playing on the wing. So he's been playing in an attacking position due to the absence of Dango. However, Reece Nelson is now available and could play on the wing instead of Lewis Potter. That said, Lewis Potter, after last game week, probably going to start again next week. So is he a one-hit wonder? A one-week wonder? I think there's still a bit of joy to be had from him, but he's certainly not a long-term pick. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think I'd buy him. I don't think I'd buy him. I'd maybe go for a more secure Defcon defender, because even in a worst-case scenario, they always come up with something. And we've got a £5 super chat here from the angry middle-aged white man. A shining indictment of yourself there. Well, you could you be just a happy middle-aged white man, perhaps? We'll see. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Season's blessings from South Wales. Thank you very much, my friend. And hopefully you're not feeling too angry this time of year. It's a cheerful time. It's a cheerful time. Right. Raina Pina. Rena Pina 2402 says, Miss Game Week 17, best triple captain option left. Ekatike Game Week 18. No, I would still prefer to go for Haaland Game Week 19. You know what's something? Here's a really interesting question. Not question, point. So, why is it that people who are captaining this week the majority are going for Haaland captain, but those who are triple captaining this week, no mention of Haaland, only Ekatike. Why is it that Haaland is the better captain, but Ekatike is the better triple captain? Or at least that seems to be the popular opinion. Why is that? Is it because we look at Ekatike's fixture and it stands out more? And people think triple captain, let's go for the go for the fixture, go for the upside. And with the normal captain, maybe people looking for a bit more security in a Haaland. I don't know. Maybe that's some food for thought. Maybe that's an interesting observation. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just waffling. Probably the latter. Is Frimpong a good pick this weekend? He's an interesting punt if you're on a free hit. Dan didn't eat his sprouts yesterday. Disappointing. Oh, I'll have you know, I had 2 or 3 sprouts yesterday. I certainly did. I don't skip out on the vegetables. You gotta. I mean, like someone who spends their entire life indoors doing very little physical activity. The least I can do is eat a vegetable. Start Wilson or Raul Jimenez. Wilson. Ballard on the bench list. He'd be just put him alongside Alderete Mukiele. Assume he's there. Security in high upside / differential in Ekatike. So yeah, basically, so you agree? It's kind of what I was kind of getting at. Like Ekatike with a higher upside, so go crazy with the triple captain. Security in Haaland, good for a captain. Upside and differential in Ekatike for the triple captain. Yeah, pretty much. I'm with you there. Mamacita says, "Answer me." Well, there's your answer. Can we see a free hit draft? Yes. I'll throw it on screen again. Bear with me. No, that's not it. There it is. Only 529 viewers. What happened, bro? That's pretty normal. Like, I don't know. There is a lot more. There's a lot more FPL accounts streaming these days. A lot more. And all competing for the same slot. That's pretty much the answer. Which is fine, but listen. I'm in no danger of going under right now. I'm just happy anyone's here really to chat FPL with me because I'm enjoying myself, man. But yeah, it's not abnormal. And I think also on streams we usually do a bit more than 500 live viewers on the stream, but like people are busy, man. People are busy. A lot of people with family on Boxing Day. A lot of people will be watching the football, going to the football, going to the pub to watch the football. Like it's a busy time, man, and I totally get it. Totally get it. Start Richards or take a hit? Start Richards. Anyone have an idea if Frimpong is going to stay? Lots of Frimpong questions today. We're going to play, presumably. I think there's a good chance Frimpong plays. He'll play at least some minutes. I don't know if he's not going to play 90, though. Would you rather play Senesi or Thiago? Thiago, and it's not even close. Is Thiago on my bench list? He is, yeah, and he's very high on the list. It's holiday. Chill. Holidays are the worst for streams in music movies. Yeah. Holidays are just when everyone's busy, right? We get it. Like, I mean, I uploaded a video yesterday on Christmas Day. Who's gonna watch that? Who's gonna watch? I mean, a lot of people. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like to watch a little YouTube video on Christmas Day. You know, I can't fill your whole day, but like, people are busy. You're gonna, you know, a lot of people. Some people will be busy this year. Some people will be busy next year. Some people have the time. Other people won't, and that's fine. Do you have a wildcard draft? I did make one yesterday. Tom in China says it's St. Stephen's Day here in Ireland. Nice to sit back and look at FPL team before going out. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. You know what? And maybe this is just typical ignorant Englishman. I assumed Ireland also had Boxing Day. And I don't know why. I guess because we are culturally quite connected. United Kingdom and Ireland. But I actually don't even know what the origins of Boxing Day are. So, I mean, it could be that there's a complete divide there. St. Stephen's Day, I have heard of, though. I didn't know it was today. Happy St. Stephen's Day, in that case, to you, Tom, and any other people from Ireland. Is Wilson nailed to play? No. Is Wilson definitely injured? Also, no. Odds of Richards playing? 15%. It's low, Dean. It's low. I would say it's pretty unlikely. Bench Wilson for Alderete? Nope, I would start Wilson. I would start Wilson and hope for the best. Have you put Wilson on the bench list because you doubt he'll start? I haven't put him on the bench. Was the best defender at 4.9 million. I like Collins, personally. He's in my team. Which, and by the way, this is my team. Wouldn't you prefer Foden over Gordon on a free hit? It was budget. Like, Gordon is like 1.7 million cheaper than Foden. So it was just trying to make a nice cheap team for people to kind of maybe use as a base and upgrade where they feel necessary. What happened to the Stick to FPL channel? It is on permanent hiatus. Whilst I was permanent hiatus? No, indefinite hiatus is what I'm going for. Whilst I figure out my personal life a little bit. Scott says, I thought it was to do with the rich boxing up what unwanted presents to give to the less fortunate. That's got to be made up, Scott. That's got to. The deadline stream is a very inappropriate time to be looking up the origins of why. What are the origins? I have to know. I simply must know. Sam Boxing Day is thought to come from the boxing of alms, of money, in wooden donation boxes in churches, just like this one. The priests would open the alms boxes on Christmas Day. On the following day, during the feast of St. Stephen, the contents would be distributed to the poor of the parish. Oh, so they box up money. The churches used to box up money and give it to poor people in the area. Oh, and it's celebrated in several Commonwealth nations. Oh, wait. So Stephen's Day is celebrated in all kinds of countries. Spain? Germany? Oh, man. We weren't far off at all, Scott, to be fair. Right, let's just quickly wrap this up because I am still not quite satisfied with the answer. So where else is it celebrated? So, in Boxing Day? Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, Indonesia. Oh, Ireland maybe used to celebrate it, maybe. I don't know. New Zealand, Nigeria, Scotland, Singapore, South Africa. Yep. Okay. I'm satisfied. I understand. So Stephen is traditionally associated with charity and helping the poor, so similar to Boxing Day in meaning. Okay, so it's all kind of related. Boxing Day was originally a Catholic thing. It's the old empire that does the Boxing Day. The old empire, we don't call it the old empire, we call it the Commonwealth of Nations. That's what we call it. FPL Mate for the culture. Hey, come on. Gotta be done. Alderete or Anderson? I think I'll go for Anderson, Defcon Legend. I think. I mean, like, I don't think there's much in the clean sheet odds. Or projections, should I say. Let's check it out. So, I'm gonna find both of these teams here. So Sunderland 32%, Fulham 25%. That is a big difference, isn't it? I didn't think it would be that high. How is it that high? Why is the difference that large? Because that shouldn't be true. Surely. Leeds are scoring loads of goals at the moment. And West Ham aren't that good. Are we really? Maybe it's the home and away factor. Oh, maybe my bench list is wrong. Is it time to accept that maybe I do need to change things? Because I've got Mukiele and Alderete above Anderson. I thought it was close. I thought it was tight. Maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe Anderson should be lower. Have I made a mistake here? No. I'm gonna leave it as is. Mukiele, Alderete, Sunderland defenders are higher than Anderson. Maybe there's not much in it. Very much an unintentional, we call it Zimbabwe and now don't we, moment there. But it was an intentional moment, to be fair, on my part. It was a little tongue in cheek. But yes, we do call it we don't call it the former empire, we call it the Commonwealth of Nations. Crystal Palace defenders. Crystal Palace defenders are on the bench list already. Just let you know, guys, 14 minutes till deadline. So we need to think about locking in, my friends. We need to start thinking about locking in. Gordon or Rice for a free hit? Gordon. Yeah. Free hit draft, please. I had the free hit draft on screen so much today. Have you made people? Everyone's suddenly clamoring for a free hit draft. Yeah. So this is like the fairly cheap free hit draft I made. If you can afford a little bit more, a little bit better, you can afford a little bit better, or mix up the bench a little bit, or make some upgrades to this, then absolutely go for it. This is what I came up with, and this costs 101.5 million. It's not too dissimilar to a lot of people's normal teams. So if you did want to make it a little bit more different, diversify a little more, then by all means, it's just a basic template that I think for a team that I think could do pretty well. Thoughts on Lewis Miley? Really nice enabler. I don't know if he has long-term security though. Because right now he's playing at right back because Livramento's injured. But that will change when Livramento's back. And I think Miley's position in the midfield is tenuous at best. I don't think he's guaranteed to start in midfield when over Livramento's back. Good player though. Like, don't get me wrong, cracking young player, but I feel like for my 4.4 million guy, I know in the short term Miley is better than Potts, but I think Potts is probably secure-ish for the season. Just get less. He's just more of a 2-point per match player. And Miley, his defcons are primarily happening because he's playing at right back. So for the short term, Miley, I like him. To summarise, is Tarkovsky worth a -4? Not for me. Get Lewis Potter. Wouldn't buy him. I don't think. I mean, you could. It is risky. Lots of people asking for Frimpong in the free hit. If you want to do Frimpong instead of Konate, by all means, if you fancy taking a risk there, I have no problem. But when I try and make like these templates and these drafts for you guys, I try and start you off with a nice, safe, secure, and sensible team. And then if people want to add their own flavors and spices to them, then yeah, that's very much a personal decision. If you do want to take some risk. How long is Liver out for? Couple more weeks. Couple more weeks. I don't think it doesn't seem to be a long-term absentee. Do we do Thiago to Calvert-Lewin? No. I think Thiago is a better pick than Calvert-Lewin. Start Sanchez or Dubravka? I think I'd go for Sanchez. What else we got? Should I triple captain Haaland this week or next week? Next week. We've got a super chat from there 777. Who says free hit suggestions. Ruffs, Konate, Ballard, O'Reilly, Semenyo, Saka, Rice, Verts, Cunha, Haaland, Ekatike. So I drop Semenyo pretty much immediately. Yeah, I'd take out. I don't think I like double Sunderland defense either. So I do Semenyo to Gordon. I would do. I don't know. I feel like I try and get Keane in for Ballard. To be honest, your team is not far off my draft that I've kind of put on screen for a free hit. It's not too far. They are similar-ish. I think ideally, if I would drop the Sunderland defenders and I would include Arsenal and Everton defenders, whether that's defenders or goalkeepers. And I don't think Semenyo is the one this week. I prefer someone like Gordon. I think. What's going on here? Bench list. Okay, yeah. So there's some free hit stuff. By the way, Dare, thank you very much for the super chat. Very, very generous indeed. Thank you so much. And hopefully it's going to help you out. And you're looking good. No Arsenal defense on the free hit is, I think, really risky. Really risky. I don't know if I could do it to myself. Excuse me. Oh, right. Oblivious Red. Is Rice a necessity? Taking out Elliot Anderson for him. I don't think Rice is essential. I don't think you have to have Declan Rice. He's a nice, helpful, nice, handy player to have in your team, but far from essential. Far from it. I think there's going to be a lot of players that will outscore Rice. Fighter OC1 with a super chat hit as well. By the way, thank you so much for your super chats today, guys. Massively appreciated. On free hit, Frimpong, Tarkowski, Grealish, or Virgil Keane Rice. Virgil Keane Rice. Virgil Keane Rice. I mean, you could even do, if you want to spice it up, you could even do Frimpong Keane Rice. But I think I prefer Rice to Grealish. I don't think there's much between Keane and Tarkowski for Gameweek 18 in isolation. Virgil is definitely safer than Frimpong, but Frimpong is more fun. What's the goal? Is the goal to have fun? Captain Ekatike, if you want to. I do prefer Haaland, but Ekatike has that higher upside and could be more exciting. Why wouldn't you captain Ekatike? Because Haaland's Haaland at the end of the day. I think if Ekatike does well and scores a goal or two, which would be considered a success. But if Ekatike scores one goal this game week, I think that's considered a success. If Haaland scores one goal this game week, we don't even acknowledge it. It's arguably a failure. And I think that's when you put things into perspective there. Yes, Ekatike has the higher upside, but if we're looking for, who do we just know is going to score? And the answer is Haaland. Whereas Ekatike, if he scores, amazing. Is that really what we think about him? I don't know. So Ekatike is riskier, Haaland safer. Is the way I probably view that one. Tavernier, would not be massively keen on Tavernier this week. You I certainly wouldn't buy him. You could maybe play him if you don't have very many other options. Best of luck this week, Dan. Finally using my free hit. Need to regain some rank. Good luck, Joe. Good luck. Lewis Potter is my differential on free hit. Good pick or not? It's no. I like it. If you're going for someone a little bit different, I think that's one of many options to do that. Love the Christmas replica jersey jumper you wore the other day. Look class. Yeah, really nice one. It's a really nice one. I do enjoy it. I wore it all day yesterday. Bench Tavernier or Bruno G. Tough one. Maybe Bench Tavernier. Is Keane or Richards better on a wild card? Keane. If I had a choice on a wild card, I'd choose Keane over Richards. Play Raya or Pickford. Oh, two great options. Let's say Pickford. Cunha has 3 goals. One was lucky. Most of his shots are outside the box. Why pick him? 3 goals ever? Or 3 goals in the limited games he's played for Manchester United this season? Cunha is a great player. He's a great pick. He takes loads of shots. His underlying data is absolutely unreal. He is now going to be presumably the penalty taker. He has set piece share, and his fixtures are really, really strong as well. If I need to say more, tell me. But I feel like that is enough motivation to get Cunha into your team. And if that still doesn't convince you, you don't have to pick Cunha. You don't have to pick Cunha. But I think he's a really nice pick. And also, like, 3 goals for Manchester United. Like, how many games has he played? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many games has he started? Because he has had some injury issues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he has 3 goals and 1 assist in 10 starts. 3 of them came in the last 3 game weeks, so he's in form. Like, I feel like that's not bad. Can you read my earlier chat? Thanks. Oh, Simon, I'm not. Depends how long ago the chat was. It's going to be pretty difficult for me to find it. Oh, I found it. It wasn't difficult for me to find it at all. It was only like a minute ago. Hi, Dan. I have only 1 viable bench player and playing Wilson, Hincapié, and Richards. Is it worth taking a -4 to replace Burn? Yeah, probably. It's not worth the risk with 3 players potentially out. I would take a -4, replace Burn with Tarkowski or Keane, maybe. Or if you haven't got O'Reilly, or if you haven't got a Liverpool defender, you can maybe go Kanate or Virgil. If you fancy an Arsenal guy, you can maybe go Timber. There's not too much going on in the cheap area other than Keane, the defender replacements. But yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, I'll take the hit. 12 starts. I don't know where you're getting 12 starts. Oh, but like I'm including like proper games, like not games in which he's got injured in, which is 10 in the Premier League. But like Salah Al Rice, if you don't like Cunha, don't pick him. But I do like him. I like what I see. I mean, I watch him play football. I see him shooting a lot. I see he's got great underlying numbers. I see his fixtures. I see his on penalties. I see him on set pieces. I see potential. And I think purely basing your FPL picks on what's happened like 2 months ago, because that's when Cunha started playing for Manchester United, I think blinds you to a lot of the things that are happening now. And you get left behind. But that's just my opinion, of course. 4 minutes till deadline. Well, 3 minutes till deadline, really. We are really, really close. I think my timer is slightly a few seconds, but by the time my sound waves reach you, the deadline is probably like, you're probably going to have to take off 10 seconds. The deadline is coming thick and fast. Thank you for your answers, mate. Merry Christmas to you and your family. You're most perfectly welcome, my friend. Trossard? I wouldn't buy Trossard, but he's a nice pick for draft fantasy. And it could be an okay pick for a free hit as well. I don't think I'd buy him, though. What's your team this week? All right. Well, I mean, we are very close to deadline. We probably should appease the show team gang for a few minutes. Help! Should I buy Richarlison as soon as possible? No. No, you shouldn't. Any news on King Capier? No, nothing new. No. You're never going to get anything from Arteta on injured players. We have to accept this by this point. If a player is injured, not only will Arteta give us nothing, but he'll do his utmost to ensure that any potential leaks are suppressed and hidden. And it's impossible to find out the availability of his players. And that's why we don't know. Which is not the answer you want as FPL managers, but if you're picking Arsenal players, that's part of the gig, fortunately. Mr. Dan, who would you go for Lewis Potter over Alderete this game week? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. If I had both of them, would I think there's not much in it for me. Should I go for Cunha just after deadline to avoid price rises? I mean, check it out. If it does look like there is going to be price changes, then maybe. But like, I wouldn't just do it immediately after deadline. I'd let Cunha play this evening first because you never know. Cunha could get injured tonight. So, but once Cunha's played, then sure. If things are tight, because there's no games for Cunha between now and the next deadline, so you could do. And it's only the next game week's only in a couple of days' time. So we're on a bit of a tight schedule when it comes to FPL game weeks. Right, guys, we really are almost at deadline. So I'd love you guys to ensure. I'm even going to make sure I do a little refresh on my page. Check it on my mobile phone as well, because, of course, things can mess around a little bit. Looking good. Yeah. I'm happy. And hopefully you guys are happy too. Because in a few seconds' time, the deadline will have passed. It may have already passed by the time you listen to this. Locked. Guys, deadline's passed. We are done for another game week. Game week 18 is upon us. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. We'll see what happens next. Ding, ding, ding goes the bell. Indeed, Yash. Indeed. Right. Are we happy? Are we confident? Are we secure? Are we feeling good about this one? I hope so. Marseille Red Visor asking about Richarlison. I think Richarlison might play this week. Yeah, I don't know. Scott says, I changed my mind over captaincy. Oh, who do you go for in the end? Let's hope Lewin scores again this week. Let's hope he doesn't. Joe says, never confident, always nervous when it comes to FPL. I mean, I feel the same a lot of the time, but also sometimes I feel okay. Like I think I've come to terms with my defense being a little dodgy this week, and I've come to terms with the Gordon risk, and I'm now feeling pretty chilled. It's not like I can do anything about it anymore. I still think you should ring some kind of bells when deadline happens with some confetti as well. Would be nice for videos. I mean, it would be fun. Feeling good, a little nervy about my flags, but a fan of my team as long as Wilson plays. Hope there will be a time for Game Week 19 wildcard draft, Jeremy. I very much doubt that, my friends. That's like this deadline's just passed. Next deadline is in like 2 days, and the following deadline is like another 2 days after that. It's crazy. There's not going to be any time for any special videos, unfortunately. You might be on your own there. You might be on your own. At least a bell. Well, the difficulty with that is my wife works a lot of night shifts. So sometimes I do have to be a bit quiet and considerate. Oh. Still another football game to go until the Man United game starts. Yeah, I know. It's 90 minutes time. But like, it's the calm before the storm. Enjoy it. Savor it. For the deadline confetti, can't you have an overlay to show it? I could do, to be fair. That would work. I could create a button on my setup where I click it and the confetti cannon arrives. I mean, I made a button. I don't use this enough. I have a button. Hang on. Let me just show you it. I never use this button. I don't know why. But we'll use it right now. Hello? Yep. Ah, I am. Okay, fantastic. Well, no, good news. Thank you very much for letting me know. Yes, sorry, that was me from the future letting me know that I got a green arrow. Which is good news. Which is good news. Right. Do we stick around and wait for the lineups? That's the question. Something like that, but like bells. Yeah, I think we could maybe do something like that. And I can get it to do like confetti on screen as well. Could be pretty fun. Was it HMRC? Oh man. Dan, you haven't paid your taxes again. That's a joke, by the way. I always pay my taxes. I'm very good when it comes to taxes. Is it Pep? Now, Pep's not talking to me anymore. I kept leaking his lineups. All right. Well, we can definitely. You know what would be cool if, I don't know, we could do some kind of light show. I mean, we've got a lot of lights back here. Some of them are programmable as well. So I wonder if I could program some kind of light show to come on every deadline. Is that overkill? It's FPL, and we're having light shows for deadlines. I guess maybe some people will get a kick out of that. Dumb jolly moment. Yeah, that was the inspiration behind the giant phone. Was it Dan in 2 days' time with the highest scorers of the game week? What do you mean, Fardine? Oh, was the on the phone? Was it me in 2 days' time or the highest? He didn't tell me the highest scores of the game. He just told me that I got green arrow. I don't know who the highest scores were. I presume he means that Gordon did quite well if I got a green arrow. So we'll have to wait and see. It's not just FPL, Dan. I feel like that could be a little overkill. Lol, I'm just a couple of places up in your your members league, so I hope you score less than me. Sorry. Fair enough, Yash. Fair enough. I mean, we're competitive in there, right? By the way, went for Marley at the end, just a gut feeling. Fair enough, bro. I mean, I think Miley is good for 4 points this week. I think he's good for 4 points. Like, I'm talking minimum, and then like after that, we'll see what happens. See what happens. Is there a way to use the lights to predict what color arrow you get? What, send myself from the future? Maybe I need someone from the upside down to walk through my room. Give me a little light show. I had Philips Hue bulbs, and it was easy to program them. Yeah, I mean that's what I've got. Well, I say that some of them are Philips Hue, others I have like a Philips Hue. I have some Philips Hue plugs to program them as well. The ones that aren't that, so that's all possible. Oh, I know what we can do. I know what we can do. I have got 3 new football shirts that I received for Christmas this year, and hopefully a couple more for my birthday. But we'll have to wait for those. Would you like to see them? Now is the time you go. Yes, we'd love to see them, Dan. We'd love to see the new football shirts added to the wonderful collection of football shirts that delight us in every video we watch, because we do watch all the videos because we love FPL Mate. Or, something like that. So, what have we got? I've turned the light on for this. We're serious. So, what do we show? So, my mum got me 2, my brother got me 1. I'll show you the mum ones first. So, Any Bristol City fans out there? Check this jazzy number. So this is the third shirt for Bristol City this season. So it's nice black with, I don't know, it's almost a kind of Northern Lights kind of wavy theme. And you know, I think this bit kind of looks like, you know how like in a lot of my videos I kind of have the wavy thing going on. Perfect, really. O'Neill's make some fun kits, yeah. So that's number one. Number two, it is oh, hang on, we got a super chat. Jacob says best horse sound. Say something a horse would say. Horse sound. I've never done a horse sound before. Neigh. Neigh. Any good? I don't know. I don't spend much time around horses, to be honest. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. A strange request, but we'll take it. This is the Spice Girls football shirt. Oh, we got another super chat. Okay, this is from Marty. Marty says, your streams are a godsend, Dan. It really helps me gain clarity. Happy St. Stephen's / Boxing Day. Marty, our favourite Irishman. Thank you very much, my friend. And yeah, happy to help. And thank you very much. €10. €10. Legendary. Legendary. Thank you so much. You know what? That's gonna go to the next football shirt bond, I think. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Like, again, to everyone who's been like super chatting and gifting memberships in Virides's case. You guys are legends. You help support the show and you help us keep going. And Jacob appreciates the horse sound. Good stuff. Right, Spice Girls. This came out like, when did this come out? Was it last year maybe? But like, fun. Hello. 25 on the back to spice up your life. Spice World on the logo there. Good fun. Which spice are you? You tell me. You tell me. I'd love to hear it. Steve says, just wanted to say, Dan, well done the other day on Twitter. That fella was out of order and you handled yourself very well, remaining calm and moving on. Which interaction? Can you be more specific? Because maybe there's I think I've had a couple of negative interactions on Twitter this week. It's been a weird week on Twitter. I think people are off work and bored, perhaps, looking to start fights. They won't get any here. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Right, final football shirt to share with the group is going to be so. Algeria. This is the Algeria. This is a away shirt. Away? Maybe. I don't know. Anyone knows? But anyway, it's really cool. And hang on, I'll show you the design a little closer up. It's meant to be like a desert themed, and this is their World Cup shirt for the World Cup next year. So I did ask my brother, oh, can you just get me like any shirt, past or present, for a team that is going to the World Cup? And therefore, sorry, I've got a super chat in the way. He picked this up. Amazing. So I'm a very lucky boy. A couple of new football shirts. I'm sure they'll be making an appearance in videos in the very near future. Fun. Right, we got another request from Jacob, didn't we? Best frog sound. Is this the sign I need to end the stream? Because we're I don't know if I want to spend the rest of the evening making animal noises. Like, fair enough. I am being paid, and I need to take this on the chin. This is part of the job. Best frog sound. Okay. Ribbit. 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 Okay. It is the Algeria home share. Oh, you like it, Ahmad? We got a few Algerians who watch the channel as well, so hopefully it resonates with them now and during the World Cup when we're doing our World Cup fantasy content. Right. Steve says, I don't want to name him as I don't think that's fair. However, he clearly misunderstood you and came across. Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, we're strange interaction, but like I don't have anything against the guy. I think it was just probably a misunderstanding, but I thought it was probably best to move on. Okay, we rate the frog. We rate the frog sound. Good. Okay. Well, I think that was probably better than my horse attempt, at least. Pretty solid ribbit. Hey, come on, come on. Not just an average FPL manager, but also I have a nice frog impression in my locker. Maybe. We've got a couple minutes until we're gonna get the or 1 minute until we're gonna get the lineups. And then once we've got the lineups, I do really need to go. So apologies if I do rush off after we do the lineups. But yes, busy evening. Do you know when the members stream will be this week? Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Oh man. Let me think, Scott. It's gonna be tough, isn't it? It's so tough. Things will be after we get past this week. Member streams stuff will be back to normal, like totally normal, like every Thursday 7 p.m. But right now it's just awkward. Ghost says, you are a legend, bro. The work you do is amazing. Thanks so much. Son and I love the content and the data is wonderful to look upon. I'm so glad to be able to help you guys out. It's my absolute pleasure. And I appreciate the kind words. It really does mean a lot to me. And I mean that. It really does mean a huge amount to me. We aim to please here at FPL Mate Industries. Got the industries with just one employee. This guy. Okay, guys, and we're gonna look at some lineups. So close to 250k. I'm hoping to do 250,000 subscribers by the end of this FPL season. Ideally, we'll have to see. So United team: Lamans, Dallo, Martinez, Mount, Cunha, Dorgu, Casemiro, Shaw, Agate, Heaven, Sheshko. There's a few absentees, isn't there? There are a few absentees here. Is that going to be... Wait, Dallo, Martinez. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be Martinez back in defense. Okay. And hopefully Newcastle's going to be here as well. Just show me Gordon. Okay, fine. All right, Ramsdale, Hall, Cher, Tonali, Gordon, Chow, Murphy, Voltamada, Bruno G, Ramsey, and Malasaurus. With Jolinton, Wissa Barnes, Willock on the bench there as well. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Dan, you could be the next David Attenborough if the whole FPL thing doesn't work out. Hey, maybe. And here we have the wild Nick Voltamada in his unnatural habitat of the Northeast. Thank you guys for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, absolute legends for taking time out this busy time of year to spend a little bit of time with me and talk about FPL. We will be back with videos. I'm not sure if it's either going to be tomorrow evening or Sunday morning. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see on that one. It just depends on time and stuff like that, because like it's my birthday on Sunday, so things are a little messy. But appreciate you guys. We'll be back with videos very, very soon, regardless. And yeah, enjoy the football. Good luck tonight, particularly my fellow Gordon owners. Hopefully we smash it. And yeah, catch you in the week for some more videos. Take care, enjoy. I'll see you later, mates. Bye bye.